I've decided my doorways deserve better. No more short, awkward openings, just tall, elegant entrances that scream, yes, a mildly unhinged person lives here, but she has taste. Let's paint, caulk, and maybe cry a little, because I am making this hallway entrance grand, whether my upstairs neighbors like it or not. Oh my God, I got hit on by a 70-year-old man today. Literally down the street. I mean, this motherfucker was pushing 70. I'm walking Kirby, right? And he's like, he smiles at me, I smile at him as a courtesy to be like, yes, good sir, I see you. We're kind of neighbors, even though I've never seen you a day in my life. And he stops and he stares at me in a very kind of like, damn, shawty, how you doing type of way. And he goes, are you single? And I went, no. And he was like, he's like, oh, well, that's wonderful. I'm like, sir, I know you're not asking me for your grandson, but I know that some motherfucker pushing 40 years my senior is not trying to date me or ask me out.
Just half of these, I'm like, oh, write that down, write that down.
Write that down, write that down. My favorite was when like really condescending mansplaining dudes would come in and they would start, they don't know me and they'd call me baby. And the bar was loud, so like, you know what I mean? So like I can't hear, except I could hear that bullshit clear as day. So my favorite thing to do was they'd be like, oh, can I get this baby? And I go, what? And they're like, oh, no, baby, can I get, what? I can't hear you. One more time. And then they start yelling and they're like, can I get this? And I go, oh yeah, sure. They hated that shit. But you know what? They didn't call me baby again. Okay, so unfortunately, some of these headers are like bulging out a little bit. I didn't notice it at the time last week when I was putting it in there, but that's okay because I found a dirty 2x4 that I left outside and a hammer. So I'm just gonna smack the out of it and hopefully it just goes where it needs to go. That worked. Okay, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I have no idea how I'm going to caulk this giant crack that is right here, but the wood bows. So if I smash in this side, then it gets f***ed up on that side. I gotta caulk and pray, baby. Caulk and pray. Hopefully that just worked. Did that just work? Oh my God, I think that just worked. Hold up. Let's smooth her out. Get in that crack. Let's go. Damn, she is working like rent is due tomorrow. This is unreal. Seriously, look at that. That crack is just, she's filled. Mistake who? I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I played jazz music in my videos, but in my head, 98% of the time it's Pitbull playing. For copyright reasons, I can't play that, but just know, Mr. Worldwide, if you're watching my video, I'm your biggest fan. I took my mom to a Pitbull concert a couple years ago. She fucking loved it. It is finally time for the painting. I mean, kind of. I have to prime it first, but it's looking pretty good so far. If the camera's wobbling, it's because Kirby is panting right down below. So, all right, let's get started. Okay, first one down. I should probably tape the other ones off though, just in case, because I don't know if you can tell on camera or not, but these are two slightly different whites. This one's warmer and this one's like a cooler white. So it's time for the first coat of paint. I'm so excited because it's gonna look like these have been here the whole time. At least I hope. We'll see. So I have a slight dilemma. And by slight, I mean it's been driving me f***ing insane since it happened. If you've been here long enough, you will know what I am talking about. For those of you that are new, allow me to elaborate. So it's all of this right here. I mean, these stains that just go all the way down. My favorite wallpaper. Now this atrocity happened last summer. Now my upstairs neighbors, for whatever reason, like to Airbnb out their unit to the most atrocious people all summer long. So we had the ogres that stomped around all night. One time Tim had the college girls that got really into Dance Dance Revolution in the middle of the night that they did every night. We've had the family of 7 that was up there in a 1-bedroom condo. And honestly, the list just goes on and on and on. Long story short, it was very, very hot this last summer. So summer of 2024. And the tenants in there decided to leave the air conditioner running 24/7. And the problem is that with an older system, it started to leak into our house. And it did for days. It was honestly a massive nightmare, and I'm not gonna get into that right now. To make a long story short, I have to remove this wallpaper and put up new stuff because this has been completely destroyed. So instead of putting up more of this dog wallpaper that I love, I have decided that I think I might go something for a little bit different this time. So the dilemma that I have been facing is trying to pick a wallpaper that goes currently with the rest of the color schemes that are going on in the house and patterns and all this other stuff to really tie things together. And now I have this big bookcase that I've built, and that's really deep dark green. So my thought process is I want something else, another wall that's green to sort of anchor that. And initially, I was thinking about doing green tiling in the kitchen. I found one that I really liked, but I'm sort of going back and forth on if that's the right move. And that's when I came across this wallpaper. I think that it is absolutely beautiful, and I think that it would actually go really well on that wall and sort of marry the two spaces together. So I ordered it on Wayfair, and I was so excited because I was like, oh my God, I get to show you guys this wallpaper this week. It was supposed to arrive on Thursday, and then it didn't because of course. So anyways, I called Wayfair, and it turns out that there was a glitch in the system and they haven't picked up the order yet. So hopefully that gets here next week, because I was kind of planning on doing this wallpaper next week, or I was hoping to, because it's really pretty. I like it, but I don't have it, so I can't show you guys, unfortunately. But now I have to trim out the entire front door because right now it is bare and naked and sad, and it needs to match the other door frames. So I'm gonna do that in the meantime. So I have my little tool thing here. You guys, oh hi Reggie. You guys said this is called an oscillating tool. Anyways, I'm going to be using it, cut this baseboard here, just chopping it right off. And I already kind of marked it. We're just gonna cut and pray. All right, now I'm gonna take this chisel and a hammer, and I'm gonna see if I can knock that bitch off. Oh, it's wanting to take the rest of the baseboard with it. Okay. So I managed to remove this little tiny piece of trim, and luckily for me, all the drywall just came out. All right, that's fine, I guess. Scoot evidence away. All right, it would appear as though I cut it correctly, so yeah. So the thing that's a little more difficult about cutting this piece compared to this bottom one here is that I was the one that put this piece here. So if something goes wrong, I don't get to sit here and be like, I wonder what dumbass put that there, because I would be the said dumbass. That was significantly easier to deal with. Why? Because I was the one that put it there. Look at that. Okay, now I just gotta remove Tim's little thingy. All right, now that I got the haters out of the way, I'm gonna test out this trim. Now I think I can mark it and cut it to the height that I need it to be. I'm gonna go cut this. Okay, so my saw keeps doing this thing. I feel like it's done it since I got it, but it'll miss like a tiny little section back there. And it's always the exact same spot. I'm wondering if anyone can tell me why that's happening and how to stop it. All right, looks like it's ready to be stapled into place. First one down. Luckily with this one, this is the only cut I have to make. So I have a slight problem. I cut this down to size and it's the perfect size that it's supposed to be, but it's f***ed up on the end. I'm just gonna have to cut it off and take this one and add it to it. It's gonna look a little weird, but I'm gonna try and putty it the best that I can to hide it. This one has not been attached in place yet, and the reason why is because if I were to push it in all the way, it would look like this, because this part of the wall sinks in more than this top part. So what I'm imagining I can do is take a shim, line that up to the best of my ability, and now just kind of cut off the excess. Voila. Now with a little paint and caulk, that's gonna look good. Now for those of you at home that are thinking to yourselves, that looks ratchet as shit, you need to remind yourself that yes, although this is true, I also don't know what the I'm doing. And considering that key factor, I think it looks pretty damn decent. So up until this point, and the point where I had to fix that little piece at the bottom here, that problem, I was about to say to myself, you know, this is going really smoothly. And it's always when you think it's going really smoothly that then it takes a turn. I've just realized that I have a really small gap between this piece and the trim. That means I'm gonna have to measure as I go, because we're not gonna really have an opportunity to have an angled piece right here. Like these ones, you see how this angles upward, like a triangle? Yeah, I don't think I can do that. So that means I am going to, once again, cut and pray and see how it goes. All right, let's see how this looks. Good so far. So that means I have, oh, I wish I had my tape measure. Oh, I do, just kidding. It's in my pocket for once. Since I have like, if I'm being conservative, probably a 1/2 inch to deal with. I think this is gonna be a lot of like cutting and just seeing what fits. So somehow I f***ed this up again. I literally, this was the second cut that I made, and I was so confident that I had like extra trim. And I don't have an extra piece of trim. I mean, I could do like a bevel cut and attach the two together, but I always feel like you can kind of see cracks. Like you can tell that it was sliced. And if this is gonna go on my front door. So I ended up just cutting my trim piece at an angle, and I'm hoping that it works because I've got extra of this 1x6 if it fails horribly. I figured I'd just try it. Kirby, you can't eat the glue. Could you step away? Thank you, sir. Wait a minute, why are you stuck to the floor? I don't know how. I changed out the staples, it just went into the floor. It's coming out, but bro. Cut the cameras. Cut the cameras. Yeah, okay, so I was using, you see this? I was using 2-inch ones to go into this wall, and then I changed them to 1-inch ones. You see what I mean? These are 1-inch ones.
Oh, I wonder if one just stayed in there.
Okay, so now that I have the vast majority of this header done, I've got my 1x2, my 1x6, and then this trim piece. Now I just need another 1x2 that I'm going to cut and nail to the top. Okay, now that this whole thing is assembled, this is the part where we pray to f***ing God that it actually fits. Holy shit, it actually f***ing fit? Oh, you shut your mouth. Seriously? Look at that, just barely there, 'cause I never miss.
That's a lie.
You too? Really? I thought it was just Tim. The betrayal is unreal in this house. It'd be the closest people to you sometimes, you know what I mean? Oh, I gotta find the studs.
Sorry.
Hold, please. Oh, that's drywall. What the Also drywall. What the Okay, so full transparency. I was about to nail this thing to the whatever that thing is, but there is a slight problem, and by that I mean that I can't find any of the studs above the front door. And I know that that sounds ridiculous, but after a very long conversation with ChatGPT and the interweebs, They let me know that not all door headers, if they're not load bearing, have studs that low. What? Hi, Reggie. Hi, buddy. You gonna help me glue? Just don't lick it, please. This is something you guys never see on camera, but I swear to God, every time I sit down, Reggie runs over and jumps in my lap. He's the biggest lap dog, which is hilarious because he was not when I picked him up from the shelter. All right, so what the internet told me to do was to just put liquid nails over the back of this and then staple it or whatever it is, nail gun it into the drywall, because that way it's not load bearing, just sitting in nails, if that makes sense. It's also important to note that apparently I can do this because this is super lightweight. Let's nail this in. I mean, clearly the stud finding process was just, it doesn't exist, it's not there. I think that's stuck now. All right, it is that time, it is that moment. We're gonna make this look like it's been here the whole time. With a little help from our friend, some caulk. Oh yeah. This whole part of the wall is so bumpy from like plaster that they put here or something like that. So it's kind of frustrating because it's not like a smooth surface to work on. All right, now that I got her taped up, it's time to prime and then paint. It's time for the final paint. Yeah, get her done. And just like that, the hallway has been transformed with minimal emotional damage. Well, mostly. Hopefully that wallpaper will actually arrive soon and I can finally be rid of that awful water damage. If you're interested in videos like the one you're watching now, then this video here might be worth a watch.